wonderful day. This life like we live is a blessing for me. Today the dreams will be on me. Cause I'm having a wonderful day. Hey, hey, I'm having a wonderful day. This life like we live is a blessing for me. Today the dreams will be on me. Cause I'm having a wonderful day. Hey, hey, I wake up and thank God for. Welcome everyone to Keeping It Real and Peep Game TV. I'm your man Shadi Ali with my man Jay Sean, aka Mr. F Love.
Yo, yo.
We know you could have been anywhere, so we're thankful today that you decided to spend that time with us. This Thursday, February 19th, 2026.
Yeah. Getting up there. The day is
Yeah,
going by
yeah.
fast.
Yeah. This month is almost over, brother.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Definitely. So how you been?
Yeah, I've been great, man. I've been great. You
I
know.
see you promote doing your best to promote the book.
Yeah. I just hope everyone is purchasing their copies and sharing the videos with their family and friends, man, because we're trying to do this. We're trying to make this thing happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want a homegrown millionaire. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going for.
A
Homegrown
homegrown.
millionaire.
Yeah.
Dig everybody.
I
So
like the sound of that.
and I need all of you to help me make that happen. It can't happen without you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's really a good read so far. I think I'm a little bit more than halfway done with it, but it's really. I'm just not saying it. I'm telling the truth. It's really a good read. To be honest with
Okay.
you did a good job. You moved this big ass cat.
All right. I appreciate that. And I'm looking to hear from some of you out there. You know what I mean? Want to hear
Yeah,
your comments, see what it was that caught your attention or something that you remember and you want to share with somebody else.
yeah,
So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that feedback.
yeah. That feedback. Yeah, that's nothing like that feedback on something you did. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Yeah, and I put my heart and soul in that. You know what I'm saying? I really put a lot of time and effort to make it, be entertaining, educational, you know, all in one.
Yeah, you did a good job, bro.
I appreciate it, brother. All right, and those of you, we know you could have been anywhere. We thankful that you decided to spend this time with us. If you haven't purchased the book from Hustler to Businessman, you can get it from Book Baby / Bookshop, Barnes and Nobles, or Amazon by putting Andre Shadi Ali or from Hustler to Businessman, either or. Get your copy and let me know what you think about
Support.
it. Yeah, support, and
We
your
gotta
support.
support it. We gotta support each other, man.
Absolutely. And your
So,
support is greatly appreciated. I can't
yeah.
say that, you know, enough. Your support is greatly appreciated.
I got a new thing I've been working on. I just wasn't talking about it too much because you gotta, with the way the world is and the way sound travel now, you got to be careful when you come up with projects. I mean, it ain't like I'm the inventor of it or the first person. I done seen a lot of people doing it, but most people doing it
Hey, what's up, Miss Drum, right? How
mo-
you doing? Go ahead.
most people doing it with prison stories.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
So
what
now
I'm
you got
doing,
me curious.
yeah, but now what I'm doing, I'm gonna be doing audio videos of me talking. So it probably be I'm not you ain't gonna see me. Probably see like a picture of me, and you will hear my voice, and I'll be telling different stories of my life, like not not just about hustling or nothing. I'm like talking about childhood,
Okay.
marital, military, everything. So I'm a I got like 4 of them done. I'm trying to get a couple of more done so I can start and try to put 2 or 3 out a week. That's my plan. So the first month I do it, I'm gonna be giving the videos out for free. But then after that, I'm gonna have like a private group, and you're gonna have to like subscribe to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
and you get to, you'll be, if you subscribe to it. I haven't got the price yet. Maybe $2.99 a month or something. But you'll be able to come into the group and hear all the untold juicy stories.
All right, I can dig that. And
Yeah.
thank you very much, Miss Drumright. I appreciate you.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
we
that's
we
what's
just
up.
we entrepreneurs, man. We just gotta keep motivating, man.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I mean, look, from hustler to businessman, I had a product that, at the time, people, America, called it illegal. Now I
Yeah.
have a new product. This product is legal. You know what I mean? This book is my new product. This is what I'm promoting. This is what I'm pushing.
I like the part about when you talked about the numbers and the pickets and stuff, because that's my thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so that's my thing right there. That
Spe-
chapter.
and especially how you remember it was like having our very own banking system.
It's funny because what you said. I don't want to get off topic, but it's
Go
funny
ahead.
what
No,
you
go ahead.
said because people might not think that it's true, but that's how my father bought the house on 31st Street.
Right.
Well, that's how he got the down payment for the house.
Hey,
Yeah, he hit a number. My mother woke up and she told him to she wasn't even into that stuff. She just told him play this number.
right.
I think he went and dropped something $5 or $10 or $20 on the number. Back, that was in the
Back then,
'60s.
yeah, back then,
I
yeah,
don't even think I don't know how much he put in. I don't want to exaggerate, but it was in the '60s, so I assume he probably maybe put $5 or $10 down on the number. Whatever the money he got back, 5 or 1,000 or something. That was the down payment on the house.
yeah.
Yeah,
And and remember, that was tax free money.
yeah,
You
yeah,
you dig? So
yeah,
that was money the government didn't have no hand in.
yeah.
So
I seen how you put in the book that people used to buy homes with their money, and I can't remember what else you said, but something else, a
yeah,
couple other things you
buy homes, businesses,
businesses,
you
yeah,
know, new cars.
yeah,
People was able to kind of you know live off of playing the numbers.
yeah, and that's a fact because I'm a living testament of that because that's how my father got the down payment for the house on 31st Street.
Yeah. So I'm glad you confirmed that that's factual for those
Yeah,
who may not know. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Especially for the younger generation who grew up and all they know is pickets from the store. You know,
yep,
so with the book, we try to give like a little history. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? We try to throw a little history in there for the younger generation so they can know, okay, this is what happened before your time.
yep,
You
and
know?
it was a fact. that
Right.
that was like the savior for black people, or it gave you a dream or gave you a hope, something to live for. Like I got 5 cent on a number, or 10 cent on a number, or $1 on a
Right.
number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the government just came. Fat Joe, I had read Fat Joe life story. He had kind of talked about it too, like you talked the same way you broke it down. Fat Joe had broke it down like that too, because his family was into the numbers
Okay.
in the Bronx.
Right.
And then after that, the government came and I guess they said we anything go down, we want in on it. And then
Yeah. Yeah. We want in. We want
yeah,
in. We want to cut. You know what I'm saying? Not and the reality is they took the whole thing.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and it's true what you said too about uh because somebody told me or I heard or I read about it somewhere that they did say when they was first doing the pickets, they was doing it for school education. That's why they did it. They
Right.
said it was they said it was they was gonna take that money and use it for kids educate for schools. But
Yeah.
that's a lie because it can't be true because they
Right.
still making millions, billions a year off of the lottery, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it ain't like schools is free.
Well, the thing was they were supposed to invest it back into the community.
Yeah,
School was just a part of it.
right,
You can see, as you can see in inner cities, it's not being invested back.
right.
So
Yep.
that was a blatant lie that the politicians do.
Yeah, they stole that.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into it, man.
Okay.
I guess you had the first question for me. I had the first question for you last week. You give me the first one this week.
Oh, okay. Um. Oh, this is a good one. Because it just so happened I didn't even know the question. We just was talking about community and stuff, and then the first question is about community.
Oh, okay.
Um, what do you think? What do you think is the least talked about thing in our community?
Uh, the least talked about thing. I think the least talked about thing in our community is money management, economics. You know what I'm saying? Like people talk about they want money, but we don't talk about how to strategize and utilize our money. Like it's you have so many different individuals who will take their bill money and splurge and won't pay their bill.
Yeah,
And then they're scrambling trying to make up or get the money for the bill. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I think financial literacy is something that we don't talk about enough. Really educating the younger people so that when they get a certain age, they realize the difference between what you want and what you need. You know,
Hmm.
what you can do without and what you prioritize.
Right.
You know, for example, there's many people right now, I'm sure, who are in debt waiting for their income tax because they spent way too much money for Christmas, trying to get their children stuff that their children probably only play with for Christmas or they tear it up.
Hmm.
So those type of things, or they get in the Gucci bag, you know what I mean? Or they get in the Jordans,
Yeah.
or they spend the money, get the new car,
Hmm.
riding around in you know, a Mercedes, a Lexus,
Yeah.
cars that cost a lot of money as well as cost a lot to repair,
Yeah.
yet you struggling to pay your mortgage or pay your rent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that we need as a community to have more conversations about so that we can be better abreast with spending our money as is necessary, not just because we want to have a good time. And by no means am I saying there's anything wrong with having a good time. It's just the means of being able to prioritize and be able to, you know, don't live beyond your means.
Mm.
Don't go beyond your means. My wife said her grandmother used to tell her, don't put your hat where you can't reach it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the type of thing that I think is you know least discussed. What do you think?
Um, I think it's with me is that I gotta say hands down, college, schooling, in our community. I don't really think that we um talk about the urgency of education. And I know people gonna say, "Oh, everybody don't got to go to college to be good. You could be a machine operator, and make a good living." Um, I've seen people with high school diplomas make it and all that. And in our community, it might be a lot of times where your parents they might just say, Are you going to college?" or "You should go to college." But I don't think they stress the urgency. I'm not a believer that you have to go to college to amount to something. I'm not saying that. I don't believe that. But just like I believe I went to the military, and I believe that every man once they get 18 should do basic training. They do that in Germany and Russia.
Oh, okay.
Everybody go to the
Hey,
everybody
Miss
go to
Jones.
everybody go to the army in the other countries. If not the army, basic training.
At least, okay.
Yeah. So I have said that after I went and I seen how it is. Like I always said, every man when in the United States, when you 18, they should go do those 3 months in basic training or 2 months in basic training. That's the same way I feel about college. I feel that it's an urgency because put it like this. I have 5 people in my family. How many you had in your immediate
Seven.
family?
Seven.
7. Okay. How many graduated from college?
Uh, just just me at this time.
See, and then mine, just my brother, my oldest brother who passed
Right.
away.
Okay.
So that was 1 out of 7, right? And
Right.
in mine it was 5. That's 1 out of 5. And
Okay.
that's 2 out of 12. So that's just me and you talking.
Right. Right.
Imagine if we break it down from family to family to family to family. Now I'm still not saying it's mandatory, it's urgent, but we all do know that education is the key because take for existence the Italian people, the Costa Nostra, the mafia. You know what they do? Well, you know what they do, but I'm gonna just say it for everybody.
Right. Right.
You know
Go
what they
ahead.
do? They take different oh, this cousin, to his he might say the guy to his brother's son. All right, one of your sons got to be a lawyer. One of your sons got to be a doctor. One of your sons got to be a teacher. One of them got to be a judge. That way, they got it all in the family. You know what I mean? So when something happened, they got a lawyer in the family already. You know what I mean? They got a judge in the family. They got a doctor in the family. So anyway, make a long story short, um, I would think that in our community, the least talked about is the urgency for education and what the possibilities are, um, in helping family, not just and any helping community. Put it like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that.
You made an excellent point when you said I think to elaborate on it more is not giving the children direction on
Yeah,
what to go to college for.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think that's is what we don't do enough.
Hmm.
We'll say go to school, but you figuring it out as you go. So you going and you trying 3, 4 different majors rather than as you said, the way some of the Italians do it.
Yeah.
Look, you're going for this, you're going for that. I
Yep.
think that's what we're missing.
Yeah,
That
that's
part of
true.
it.
And that's
Absolutely.
imagine that. Like imagine you got cousins and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So imagine in your family if one of y'all was a school teacher and then your cousin, one of them was a doctor, one of your other cousins was a lawyer. It don't have to be everybody. It just
Right.
need to be one. You know what I mean? Like I just think about stuff like that.
Nah, I mean that's an excellent point. Definitely
Yeah,
an excellent point. That's
yeah,
definitely something that I think uh, would be helpful if we did more of.
yeah. Of course, because we mess around and we have 5 people in the family and 3 of them getting high.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's just food for thought.
yeah.
I ain't knocking nobody.
Well, Ms. Drumright says she's in agreement because education and military training can instill some morality and discipline in individuals because you know because home training is not always enough or without two parents in the household. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so basically she's saying they'll bring a balance.
Yeah,
And you
that
know,
that
rightly so.
military thing. A lot of people might be like F the military, but I'm not talking about the military. I'm talking about basic training.
Yeah, like
You know,
the reserves or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Get
yeah,
into the
yeah, yeah.
reserves or something like that.
Because
Yeah,
the basic training is that's where they you know they build you, they break you down, but they build you up. You know,
right.
physically and mentally. I just think every male should go through that at 18. But they
All
do
right.
it they do it in Russia. They do it in Germany.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we create something like that, we could create something like that that we make sure they do it.
they did. Hey yo, they did that in Africa. You seen movies in Africa
Absolutely.
when you was get before when you was getting ready to be a man, they sent you on to
Yeah,
go kill something or
yeah,
go on
yeah.
a
So
journey or something like that. That's the same thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Rites of passage. They used to
Y-
call it rites of
Yeah.
passage.
Yeah. So it's a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So let's get to the next question. You know, as Mrs. Drumright said that sometimes you don't have both parents in the house, so the education in the military can be helpful in those cases.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings me to the question of love and marriage. So my question is, what is one of the most important things you learned about love and marriage?
Um, One of the most important things that I've learned
Yes, absolutely.
about love and marriage.
What's up, Floyd?
You know what I learned that if two people have the same common goals and common interests and want to be together, you know what I mean, and want to build toward things, then I learned that it's nothing more beautiful than that. Because I talk about I'm talking about me. I don't believe in love, but I know what love is. You know what I mean? I've seen
Right,
it. I've
right,
felt
right,
it. I've had it.
right.
I know what love is. So the most important thing that I learned about love and marriage, that if you could get two people If you can get two people on the same page, you know, I don't even want to have to say they don't have to have the same goals, but they have to be goal orientated and moving and moving in the right direction, not wanting to be stagnant. You know what I mean? Both wanting to, you know, look forward to certain things. One of them could get there one way, another could get another way, but they both have to be goal driven. You know what I mean? So if you could
Okay.
get two people that's goal driven and and really care about each other and have the same interests in life, there's nothing more beautiful than that. That's what I learned in my life. There's nothing more beautiful than that. Two people in love with the same common goals and interests and things they want to do in life. What about you?
I learned in love, it's like a plant.
A
You know
plant?
what I mean? Yeah, love is like a plant.
Yeah.
If it's not watered or receive the sunlight, then it'll start withering away. So love has to continuously be nourished. You know, it is necessary for it to be reciprocated. And it doesn't always need to be equally reciprocated, but I think it's a necessity for it to be reciprocated.
Right.
And when it comes to marriage, I think when people get married, they choose to get married.
Right.
Very few people nowadays, at least in our culture, get married because they're forced to. Back in the day, yeah, you used to get forced to get married. Now you choose to get married. And I think I learned that if in the marriage, one or the other person begins to take for granted that whatever you do for each other, it's a willingness. You do it because you want to do it. You do it because you love the person. You do it because you choose to do it, not because you have to or you're supposed to. I think that damages marriages. You know, when people because when people begin to say you have to, then they get disappointed when you don't.
Right.
You know, but if they're just saying, okay, I'm asking you to do this and I would like to see you do it. And then when you do it, I think they're more appreciative, you know, because if you have to do something, who's going to appreciate what you have to do?
Mm.
You're not going to get appreciated for what you have to do. You're
Right.
going to get more appreciated for what you choose to do.
Right.
So, you know, that's what I learned from love and marriage.
Okay. Um. This question, you're gonna have to break something down. Probably for me, I don't know about for everybody else, but um, do you think that? Do you think colonism is disguised as racism? But first, you have to explain colonism.
Colonism is when a foreign country comes to another country and takes over that country by setting up their own government
Okay.
and overthrowing the previous government.
Okay.
So that's the colonizing. So when it comes to racism, my personal opinion, I think for us, racism has been used to distract us from the colonism, from what really happened. You know, when we were told and taught that we were brought here, you know, from Africa,
Yeah.
not knowing or not sometimes not even thinking, come on, what type of ancestors we come from? Our ancestors wasn't wise enough to build a ship and travel. They needed to wait for another ethnicity to put them in a boat and bring them here. Come on,
Mm,
that's ludicrous.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a ploy to get many of us to say, "Oh, we were brought here, so we don't have rights to this land,"
Yeah.
which created the racism, which made the white people. And remember, white doesn't always mean people who are Caucasians. There are people over here right now claiming white just as dark as me and you, and they
Mm,
claiming white. You dig? So it's a hierarchy of how the system was set up and designed to give certain people privileges over others. When
yeah.
when the original when it all started from the colonism, when the English, so-called British, so-called pilgrims came here and wanted to get away from the queen and king and set up shop over here. Prior to them setting up shop, you know, there was a contracts called the peace of friendship. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know, many people may not know this because America doesn't want to teach it.
Right.
You know, they don't want to teach it because why would they teach that our ancestors were the true owners of this land, which means they owe us instead of we owing them?
Right.
That, you know, we should be collecting taxes from them rather than them collecting taxes from us. So long as they keep us saying, you know, black and white, they keep that conversation from being had. So that's why I say colonism is disguised as racism.
Right.
I mean, you hear Kendrick Lamar used it when he said Drake a colonizer, you
Oh
know,
yeah. Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
like right, and he said they not like me. He said Drake's a colonizer,
Yeah.
so he's hip to what's going on. You know,
Yeah.
they not like us. So if they not like us, then what does that mean? That, you know, that means something. He's saying it indirectly. They not like us. We the ones who really own this land, but they
Yeah.
done tricked us to thinking they own it by telling us they brought us here on slave ships
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that we black instead of our true nationality, which I say on many occasions, Moors, aka Moroccans. That's who we are.
Right.
So I mean, now that I explained it to you, you know, you have any thoughts about it?
Yeah. I I want to answer it a different way though.
Go ahead, go ahead.
About colonism being disguised as racism. Um, I think that a lot of things in this country is disguised to keep you from looking at the real core of the problem. I just found out the other day that you know how they be always talking about black people all on welfare and getting all the food stamps.
Right, right.
I just seen something the other day. It was crazy, and this is real news. This is not
Yeah.
nothing I read. This is something I saw. A reporter went into a Jewish community, I believe somewhere in New York. I, I, it's somewhere in New York,
Probably Brooklyn.
and he said that all the men and the men over there, they all of them got like between 5 and 10 kids by their wives.
Mm.
The Jewish people that wear the
Yeah,
hat and the black.
The Orthodox Jews.
Okay, now check this out. We 62 years old,
What's
right?
up, Dave?
We
Yeah,
62, right? We
yeah,
don't. I don't work in transit. You worked in the Biscos. We done had jobs our whole life off and on,
right,
right?
right.
Have you ever seen a Jewish person working with you side by side?
Not that I can recall.
And I don't work in Barnet Hospital, St. Joseph, transit, everywhere. I never seen one working side by side with me. Now check this out. In the community with a reporter, when he started asking the men, well, where you work at? Yo, none of them got jobs, Shah. They all live off the government,
Mm.
food stamps, welfare, Medicaid, the same thing that they blame black people for doing. And
Right.
this is real because the reporter was asking all of them, like, where you work at? They was like, oh, trying to brush them off and like, yeah, because they don't work. They sit home and they make babies, and then they get on assistance. One of them even said, "Oh, my wife take care of me." Like I guess he was saying through the system. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much
Right.
about that because you know how
Right.
they get. They shut you down. We talk about that, but I'm saying that because of what you're saying, like colonism disguised as racism.
Right.
I believe this government got everything disguised as something else, so we don't really see just like what you just said about the boat and coming over here. So you
Yeah.
mean to tell me no black person couldn't have made a boat to come over here? We had to wait for somebody to make a boat to bring us here. When they was over there making bow and arrows and houses and uh 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 in Egypt they was making gold and pyramids and
Right.
all that, but
Exactly.
nobody, like you said, nobody knew how to make a boat. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. I believe that this government, everything is disguised for you to think one thing is one way, but it's really another way.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I
But
totally
them
agree.
jokers had between all of them 7 kids, 8 kids, 7 kids, 9 kids, 10 kids, 5 kids. And they just, they just walk around like by Eastside Park. But you never see them in a job. I'm like, oh, that shit is true.
Well, the other difference is they use their money too through the synagogues to
Yeah,
buy housing for the whole community.
yeah,
You notice they buy up the whole area, so this way everybody can afford to live there, which is clever.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
You
I'm not
can't knock
knocking
them.
it. I'm not knocking it. I'm saying this so that we can start doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Emulate 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 that. We emulate a lot of things. We can emulate that.
yeah.
Start, you know, buying communities up and living amongst each other. You know?
It's too real. We too real tonight. Too real for TV. Too real for TV.
Well, being that we speaking about the Jewish, which I think are the only people who are able to throw their religion with their ethnicity. But with that being said, my question is, what is a common misconception people have about your religion?
I chose that question for a reason too, because I don't really have like a base religion right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so I mean, I grew up a Jehovah Witness.
What's up, Dane?
I grew up a Jehovah Witness, and then I ventured into the 5% Nation. So those is really the only two that I know about. But I got knowledge of like Baptists, and I got knowledge of Muslims, and I got knowledge of uh like just certain little bit of other religions. I don't know. I just got a little bit of knowledge of.
Right, right,
So, and the thing with that question is everybody got misconceptions of certain religions if you never been there before. So I would just say I grew up a Jehovah Witness from like 0 years old to maybe like, I don't know, 13, 14, something like that when I stopped going. Maybe 13, somewhere around there. But I have heard so many different things like that's like, like, well, Jehovah Witnesses don't believe in Jesus, and they don't believe in they don't believe in celebrating this and celebrating this and doing this and doing that. So the reason for that question is that if you if you if you got a misconsumption of something or something, you gotta go in and read about it for you can find out about it instead of just making different presumptions. Because like I said, growing up a Jehovah's Witness, I heard it more like they don't believe in Jesus, or they killed this guy, or they did that, or you know what I mean, or people can't do this. I'm not gonna get into what they could do and what they can't do, but I'm just saying for um knowledgeable purposes and stuff. If you want to know about a certain, like I just asked you, what is colonism, and I think I have asked you different thing about Moroccans too,
right,
Morocco.
right.
If I'm telling everybody, if you got a misconception about a religion or somebody religion, ask somebody knowledgeable or just do some reading. You might just read something you like. You might just find out. You might something that you don't know nothing about. You might just find out. That that's the true religion for you. You know what you think about that?
I think,
That's a good one for you. This is a good one
yeah,
for you.
yeah. Well, I think the misconceptions in most religions is the fact that each religion believes in a different God. I think that's a
Mm,
misconception
that's a
with
good one. I
with
forgot
with the
about that.
because it's like basically I read the Quran, I read the Bible, I read the Torah, and remember the Torah is the book of Moses. So
Mm,
if the Torah is the book of Moses and the Quran and the Bible have Moses in them, and that's the same God, Moses worshiped the same God in all three books, then how can the religions be worshiping a different God? Even though, okay, Muslims call him Allah. Uh, Jehovah Witness call him Jehovah.
hmm
Uh, Rastafarians call him Jah. You
Muslims
know,
call him Allah.
so it's just because it's a different name doesn't mean that we are worshiping something different. We're
Right.
what I see when it comes to religions is at its best, not with man tweaking and misguiding people. At its best, it helps you reconnect to your natural state of being prior to being manipulated by society. You know what I mean? Where you have a moral compass, where you actually behave in an upright way towards yourself and other people. Go
So I
ahead.
don't mean to cut you off, but so you saying your biggest misconception is people thinking that everybody got a different God.
Yeah, that's the biggest misconception that I see.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You
Yeah.
know, because I've heard many people say, uh, your God Allah. You know what I mean? You know, your God too. Well, you know, look, I'm worshiping, and I've said, you know, to people, look, we're worshiping the same God unless you worshiping a stick. You know what I'm saying? Or a
Yeah.
rock.
Yeah.
we worshiping the creator of all things in existence. That's
Yeah.
the worship. That's what we all want to connect to. That's the spirit, the
Right.
inner being. This is what we are striving each day if we're striving to follow what the book says. If you read the books and just don't listen to the pastors and the imams, you know, you will be striving to be upright, to have behavior that is pleasing to the creator and that, you know, helps and benefit other people. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
so
Um, who is on me?
yeah, that's me, yeah, because we
Uh,
went through that.
um. Oh, I heard a lot of this about this. Is like you's you a old fool, or you certain age you still not mature. Um, the older you get, the dumber you get. Um, I heard a lot of stuff about this one, but with all that being said, do you think people can change after they have reached a certain age?
Uh, I think everyone has the capability. However, the individual, it's necessary for them to have the desire to, or to see that it's a necessity for them to do so. I've noticed some people refuse to change
Mm-hmm.
because they refuse to see that there's anything that they need to change.
Mm.
You know, if you think or believe that everything you're doing is correct and it's okay, then you don't have a reason to change.
Right.
You know, and if it's working for you, you don't have a reason to change.
Right.
You know, so I think that in order for a person to change, in some cases, it takes the people around them that see that it's necessary for them to change to start changing how they operate towards them.
Yeah.
You know, because let's give an example. If you have a person that consistently borrows money from you, and you know that they work, they go to work and have money, but yet they consistently borrowing money from you. So if you continue to give them money each and every time they want to borrow it, what is the incentive for them to change their behavior?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the reality is, okay, you as an individual would have to say, look, I'm not loaning you no more money because you consistently borrow money and you really don't ever pay me back. So for me to continue giving you money is a you know handicap to you. You know,
Right.
I'm enabling you, and I'm hurting myself financially. You know, and I bring that up because that's often the case with why people fall out. People fall out. So many people, family members, close friends, fall out over somebody borrowing money and refuse to pay it back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
so I brought that in because I really truly believe that, you know, we, as I was saying earlier, we need better education when it, when it comes to money management, you
that's
know.
true.
So what do you think?
Um, I believe that people can change when they get a certain age because I look at myself how much I have changed. The older, you know, I started changing 2014, 2000, what's this? About 15 years ago.
Okay.
About 15 years ago, I started changing from my viewpoints on life and how I move and things I did and things I did when I was younger that I knew I couldn't do it anymore when I was older, and things that didn't make sense to me anymore. And I look at some of my friends and some of the people that's like around my age or close to my age, and they still doing the same thing that we was doing when we was young. You know what I mean? And I can't understand it or relate to it because I have changed. So it's almost like what you said, like you can change. It's gonna be at a certain age too, but it gotta be at a certain state of mind too. You know what I mean? Malcolm X said, if you thinking the same way at 50 that you thought when you was 25, then you just lost 25 years of your life. So so every year, every month, every decade or whatever, bi-yearly, whatever, you supposed to change. You know what I mean? And everything changes. You're not wearing bell bottoms and curly kits and ladies ain't wearing you know what I mean? We ain't still playing with a 8 tracks. We ain't using Polaroid cameras. You know what I mean? Like, uh, you gotta change. If you don't, then I don't know. If you don't change, you stuck. You might be stuck on stupid or something. In a harsh way of putting it. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta change. You gotta change. You just can't be the same. Not saying that you gotta just because you're getting older, we gotta act like we old. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? We not like that. I'm talking about in other type ways. You know what I mean?
Productive change.
Productive change. Yeah, that's what I
Absolutely.
think. So I think people could change once they get a certain age because I did it,
And they have the desire to do so.
and
Uh,
the desire to do so.
well,
Yes.
Ethel kind of, she said, she enjoyed the conversation.
Mhm.
She pretty much kind of said what you said. She said, if you're not changing, you're not growing. It's
Right.
like being stuck in the mud, where you said being stuck on stupid. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So basically, she said, you know, she enjoys changing. You
Yeah.
know
You
what I
have
mean? She
to.
don't. She never regrets making changes. She look forward to the changing because she knows growth.
You gotta change.
Yeah, yeah, and
What they say? They say what they say when you say gray hair. Oh, that's wisdom.
yeah, yeah, the wisdom. Yeah, yeah. So definitely, it's a necessity. But as you said, you still see some people who haven't made the change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, there it lies that it's an individual thing and a mindset that, okay, I want more than where I want to be, further than where I'm at. I
Yeah.
want more than what I have now, even though I'm thankful and grateful for what I have now. I still want to move beyond this stage.
Their age is at the age of maturity and elderly and maturity, but they mind is not. You know,
Yeah,
their mind
well,
hasn't
yeah,
reached that level yet.
yeah. They had the wisdom in their face with the hair, but they haven't gotten to the mentality.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, we got about 5 minutes for the next
Okay.
question.
Last
Uh,
question.
can you share a time in history that inspired your personality?
Um, you know, if I think about a time in history that inspired me, it wasn't really like the Martin Luther King movement. Even though that was everybody know he was a great man, but I couldn't stand for like what he still. I watched some of the stuff, some of the marches where they used to like just go sit down in restaurants and let people spit on them and hit them and throw them down and all that stuff. And it was like I guess peaceful. So I can't really say it was that time. Um, so we have to lead you up to what other parties? We had the Black Panthers. We had the Muslims. We had some the Tuskegee Airmen. I mean, we had so many eras that could have, times it could have expired us. So I would have to say sports. I
Okay.
would have to say Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier for baseball. Larry Doby following them, doing it. Um, Muhammad Ali um, giving up everything, money, everything for his beliefs. So if I had to say anything, it would be Muhammad Ali giving up his heavyweight belt and being put in exile for 3.5 years in his prime, and Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier. That really inspired me because of the more Jackie Robinson number one. Because I don't, if you ever seen the movie 42, and that's just a movie, I could imagine what it was like back then in 1942. Yeah, in the 40s to see what he went through, just to break the color barrier. I mean, being ridiculed and taunted and all kind, and not being able to go into hotels and sleep with them or eat with them, having to sleep on the bus and all the stuff from stadium to stadium. So if I had to say anything, I'll say Jackie Robinson and breaking the color barrier for baseball sports. How about you?
Well, mine's going to be a little different. Mine's is going to be that inspired me personally is the 5% movement.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Just, and I kind of go into it in the book that just the fact of being told we were the makers, the owners of something, you know what I mean? That that put a whole different vibe, you know what I mean? And then to say we were God, you know what I'm saying? After growing up, seeing a white Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? So that inspired me tremendously to look at myself and those around me differently,
Right.
especially as I mentioned in the book, where I say I was around a lot of people that didn't take books home from school. They left their books in school, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? However, when it came to studying them lessons, cats were studying them lessons.
Yeah. Big
So,
time.
right. So it motivated us to read when many of us wouldn't read. otherwise. So
Yeah.
so that would have to be for me, hand down history that
Yeah,
inspired
I
my
could have said that
personality
one too.
today.
I didn't think about that, but that was a big one. But I was laughing a few minutes ago because in your book too, when you said uh back when we was young, everybody the living room was off limits. Everybody had plastic over their furniture, plastic over the furniture, and a picture of a white Jesus in the
In the living room.
in the living room. And I said, and we had all that. The living room was off limits. The couch and everything was wrapped in plastic, and we had a picture of Jesus up there. Um, it was white Jesus. We had a picture of white Jesus up there. So I think that was everybody's living room in the '60s and the '70s.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Right. And I did that, as I said, for a history lesson. What's up, Shoshana?
Yeah,
For a history lesson for the younger people, because
yeah,
our children, they didn't see that. They didn't see. Some of them might have saw the ending of it. You know what
yeah.
I mean? When they was younger, they would say, but the newer generation, they have no idea. Like those in their 20s,
Oh,
they
they
have
don't
no
know.
idea about that. The 30s, yeah, they kind of saw it. They kind of caught the tail end of it.
Yeah.
But and I think it's important for us to, kind of tell our story rather than let somebody else tell it.
Hey, that's a fact. That's a
You
fact.
know. So that's our time, brother. We made it another time. We done did it again.
You got one more. You got another part in the book that's funny as anything. Had me laughing, but
What's
about
that?
you and your cousin Milton. You know the same thing that happened to you and him happened to me and Shireen. When we was by Grand Street, and Shireen mother used to work down there, and she gave us $1 to go to the store. We was like maybe 7, 8 years old or something, and it's some guys from the projects. They was like, "Give me your money," and I gave them my dollar. They told Shireen to give them their dollar. You know, Shireen wasn't giving up his. You know, Shireen wasn't giving up his dollar, man. They was trying to kill him over $1. He wasn't. He wasn't. I was steady telling him, man, give him the dollars. Give him your dollar.
Yeah,
So I was laughing because that's the same thing in the book that you said happened with you and Milton. They told you to give him your money, and Milton gave him gave him the money,
yeah.
and you said you wasn't giving up your money.
No, I end up punching them in the face. you know, they were shocked. So it messed them up because they didn't think I was going to do anything.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
man. They got It's the book is good. I like the book. I haven't finished it yet, but it's a good read. I ain't gonna
Okay.
tell no more stories out of it. People got to get it and read it
Yeah,
for
yeah.
themselves.
So those of you who watching, go purchase the book. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You can purchase it from Book Baby / Bookshop, Amazon, or Barnes and Nobles by putting From Hustler to Businessman or Andre Shadi Ali. And you can look on my site and see, you can look on whatever page you're watching it on and you can see how to purchase it. I've got plenty promotion on how you can purchase it. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
We
let
finished
them,
again.
yeah, yeah. We finished all of them again. Let them know where they can see you at tomorrow, brother.
Oh yeah, tomorrow about I say about 9:40 between 9:45 and 10. I'll be on Facebook Live and TikTok at J Sean 763, and look out for them the audio videos I'm gonna be doing when I'm gonna be telling different stories of my life all throughout my whole life. I'm gonna be telling different stories of that. The first month is free, and I'll be elaborating on stuff that like secrets of my life and different times. Not all bad and not all good and not all criminal and not all that. Everything. You know what I mean? But I'll be
Okay.
promoting that, down the line. But if you're not doing nothing tomorrow night, and tune in to
Tune
the
in.
podcast. Yeah. It's been crazy. I know the last couple of weeks it's just been crazy, but I guess I'll try to get a couple of audio. Oh, and the new audio videos I'm doing is called Keeping It Real with Jay Sean, Unfiltered Life Diaries. Yeah. So
Uh,
I'll be doing that. So that'll be coming out soon.
okay. For Ethel, I appreciate you. Miss Drumright, Damon, Floyd, everybody else that was on. We appreciate you taking the time. It's from Hustler to Businessman.
Hey, Ethel.
Or you could put Andre, Andre, Shadi, Shadi, Ali, Ali. You can put Andre Shadi Ali, and it should pop up. And if it's sold out, just order it and they'll let you know. They'll give you a notification when it's ready. Okay? And I appreciate you so much. Okay, y'all, until next week, we wish y'all love, peace, and prosperity.
Yeah, you know it.
All right?
Yeah. All together now.